30 terrifying prehistoric animals you're so glad are extinct, and 20 terrifying dinosaurs you're so glad are extinct by ultimate fact. That's like the first one that's the first one in the whole thumbnail, or in the whole playlist. My goodness. Well, this was only 16 minutes long. Hopefully we'll be able to get through this relatively quickly. You know who we haven't seen in a while? The Feathered Friend. I wonder what he's been up to lately. But I don't know, maybe we got through all of his videos. But anyway, what the fuck is this? Anyway, let's see this garbage. Is this porn? Is this pornographic material? About a giant snake? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised with all the weird vor people out there. Let's see what 30 animals we're very glad are extinct in the span of 16 minutes. He's gonna get like 30 seconds for each animal. I don't think that's enough.
Extinction is a very serious issue facing our world today. However, when it comes to some of these extinct animals, we have to admit, we're kind of glad they're gone. If you have a phobia for bugs, worms, or snakes, you will be unhappy.
Worms, he says, as he shows an arthropods, which is a myriapod. I just really love that intro, like, hey, extinction, it's pretty bad. Except when it isn't, because these guys are scary. It's just the same thing we go through every single time in one of these videos with, like, this particular title gimmick.
Happy to know that our ancestors faced and survived worse creatures. Today,
our ancestors faced and survived hallucigenia, the 2-centimeter long little worm critter.
let's check out the top 30 terrifying animals we are so glad are extinct.
Ooh.
Dunkleosteus.
Dunkleosteus. I mean, like, I've heard Dunkleosteus before, because, like, you know, it's named after David Dunkel. So, Dunkleosteus or Dunkleosteus, I think, is acceptable. It's not at the same level as, like, Forest Rahacidae. Like, we'll give him that one. Yeah, Dunkleosteoporosis.
This extinct creature was a large carnivorous fish, which lived 380 to 360 million years ago, during the late Devonian period. It was an efficient and voracious predator thanks to its size. A Dunkleosteus could reach up to 10...
Okay, Dunkleosteus. That is a butchered pronunciation. You had an acceptable one at the beginning, and now you have Dunkleosteus. You're putting letters in there that don't exist. Also, 10 meters. I mean, okay, hold on. This is 3 years ago. The dunk was only shrunk like a year or so ago, I want to say. So that's not outdated by the time of the video. Even then, I'll say that's oversized based on pre-shrunk dunk standards. Because 10 meters rather, that's about like 33 feet. I always say this because we go through Dunkleosteus so many times. Oh god, it was 2 years ago already. Jesus Christ. Time moves too fast. But I want to say that pre-shrunk dunk, like the top size estimates were around like great white shark size. So we're gonna, I know that's a wild size overestimate. If we need another one, then we'll circle back to this one.
10 meters in length and weigh 4 metric tons. On the bright side, despite its enormous size, its head and chest were covered with articulated armor plates, which made it a slow but very powerful swimmer. Dinosuchus.
Dinosuchus.
Sounds like sucker of dinosaurs. I wonder why.
Oof. Oof.
Dump on these nuts.
Suck on these dinos, apparently. Jesus Christ, what a... we haven't seen jokes like this since there is no saurus. Oof.
Why? This scary...
Hold the fuck up. Look at the chapter name. Dinosuchus. It's calling Dunk slow outdated. I don't know about that one, since, like, as far as I'm aware, there isn't actually much or any material of, like, the back half of Dunkleosteus' body. It's pretty much, like, just the head. That's part of why, like, the shrunk dunk fiasco was a whole thing, because it's just like, hey, if you, like, take the head, which is all we have, and stretch it out to these proportions, then it's this big. But wait a second, it's probably actually these proportions. So, like, How mobile it would have been is kind of up in the air. Like, it could be, like, I think reasonably assumed that Dunkleosteus would have to have been at least, like, faster than its prey. But that's also not really saying a whole hell of a lot, because a lot of armored fish in the Devonian were actually, like, fairly slow going, so it's kind of up in the air. I wouldn't, like, hold it against someone for saying that this was probably a relatively slow animal. Probably in the same way that, like, T-Rex was kind of slow, but, like, fast enough that it could, like, get the food it needed. Like, speed wasn't really a huge necessity for it.
Monster is an extinct animal similar to modern-day alligators and crocodiles. It lived between 80 and 73 million years.
What the fuck was that? Did he burp?
Similar to modern-day alligators and crocodiles. It lived between 80 and 70.
Okay, I thought I heard like a burp or something in there. There was like a weird little audio hiccup. Was that me? I'm keeping my audio turned like all the way up. I'm listening for shit.
73 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period.
The Cretaceous period? Where all the crabs lived? Come on, man.
Measuring up to 12 meters in length and weighing 6.5 metric.
12 meters, that's around like... So around like 40 feet. That sounds about right. I'll give him that one.
Tons. This giant crocodile had large, sharp teeth. Deinosuchus was capable of killing...
Deinosuchus. Christ.
And eating large dinosaurs. It also had a preference for sea turtles, fish, and other aquatic and terrestrial prey.
Why sea turtles? Sea turtles were fucking huge during the Cretaceous period, by the way. Because you had the protostegids, such as Archelon, who were enormous, and probably would have given a Deinosuchus a run for its money. So, maybe it was just eating the small ones. I don't even know if Deinosuchus would have lived or, like, explored the western interior seaway. So, yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that one. I don't really know.
Arctodus. This short-faced bear is an extinct wild animal that inhabited North America during the...
Why even specify that it's a wild animal? There was no such thing as a captive animal back then. It's just weird.
Pleistocene era. It is one of the most recent creatures on the list, as it roamed Earth until 11,000 years ago. Despite this, its size is characteristic of prehistoric animals. The Arctodus...
Meaningless... Okay, let's call that a meaningless statement. I mean, like, I kind of understand what he's saying there, like, oh, because everything back in the fucking, in the prehistoric times, when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, like, everything back then was fucking huge and awesome, except it wasn't. Some things were small and tiny and pathetic. Like, some things were just normal size. These things happen. Like, again, the easiest example to point to is the fact that, like, the largest animal that we know of that has ever existed exists today. Now. That is the benchmark by which we measure all other really, really big animals.
Could reach 3.5 meters in height when standing and weighed more than 1 metric ton. Like many other Pleistocene animals, the short-faced bear lost much of its food.
He does seem to be giving us measurements for more or less every single animal, which is good, because that means the longer this video goes on, the more likely the AI is to get confused and give something a ridiculous size overestimate, especially if it goes over something like Liopleurodon, in which case, we're getting a 2 for 1. Dunkleosteus. If we're going by, oh, you're glad these animals are extinct because they're scary and they would eat you, then, like, sure, why the hell not? We're all good on that front so far. I feel like if I ran into a regular bear, I'd be just as scared as if I ran into an Arctodus.
Food supply with the arrival of humans in the Americas. Thank you, Americans.
Thank you, Americans, for wiping out yet another bear species. The California grizzly just wasn't enough.
Cambrios. This sea and ocean monster is an ancient and giant ancestor of modern squids and octopus.
I don't know if it would be a direct ancestor to modern squids and octopus. It is a cephalopod, so you're sort of correct. like, hey, at least it's in the same family, basically. You are correct, it is a cephalopod, but it's not going to be like a direct ancestor, especially like, hey, one of the really big giant ones that would have been the most at risk to its environment changing and stuff like that. It's the same thing as like, oh, T-Rex was the ancestor to the chicken. It's not how it works.
It lived in the Ordovician era, 470 to 460 million years ago, especially in the ocean. The most distinctive features...
What the fuck do you mean, especially in the ocean? Okay, first of all, I shouldn't have to tell you this. Nothing lived on land during the Ordovician, okay? Maybe a couple of plants did. Also, this thing is a cephalopod. It has gills. Like, it couldn't breathe air even if it wanted to. What little air there was. Yeah, there's lichen on land. He's just like... This fucking 30-foot long orthocone is just hauling itself onto land with its giant tentacles, just chatting up some lichen. Don't be stupid.
Of the mollusk were the huge cone-like shells and tentacles which it used to trap fish and other sea creatures for dinner. It weighed roughly 900...
I'm not sure if fish would have really been the main thing on the menu. I think by this point, fish were still relatively small and shitty. It probably would have been going after like arthropods and stuff like that, like eurypterids and big trilobites.
100 kilograms or 2,000 pounds and measured 6 to 12 meters or...
Oh wait, Sacabombaspis is Ordovician, isn't it? Maybe there's some fish that are worth hunting. But Sacabombaspis should be left alone because it is a wonderful creature.
20 to 40 feet. I bet you like this one. Give us a thumbs up below.
What?
Carbonemes.
Big turtle. We have those today. They're fine creatures. And misleading. Alright, easy.
The Carbonemes is an extinct giant turtle that...
Oh, so that's a pliosaur used for B-roll for a turtle. It's a turtle. How hard is it to get footage of a turtle? Anyway, continue.
Lived 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene age. This means that they survived the mass extinction...
Oh, please tell me we got more ARK stuff.
...that killed most of the dinosaurs. These turtles were...
It's inaccurate to say that Carbonemes, or Carbonemes, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it. I say Carbonemes because it rolls off the tongue better. It's kind of inaccurate to say that this turtle in particular, like, survived the mass extinction. Its ancestors did, and then when they survived, they were like, oh, hey, there's niches that are open. Now that, like, all the dinosaurs and shit are gone, I'm gonna get fucking huge. Which is kind of like just story of my life for everything after the dinosaurs went extinct. Like, Indohyus, my brother, I'm going to go into the waters in search of food. You will regret this, Pachycetus. The change in environment will force you to adapt. I just need some shrimps. I will be perfectly fine. And then they became huge. When there is a niche that needs to be filled, and somebody can get big doing it, they'll get big doing it. The Andricotheres didn't show up that long into the Cenozoic. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't take that long for mammals to be like, what?
Carnivorous and had massive jaws, powerful enough to eat large animals like crocodiles. A fossil found in Colombia...
I don't think Carbonemes was, like, so big that it was eating, like, fully grown crocodiles. It would have been eating, like, juveniles and stuff like that. Not to say that, like, it couldn't hunt juveniles or anything like that, because I absolutely believe it could have. But, the way he's phrasing that makes it sound like it's going around chopping a fully grown saltwater crocodile in half.
Colombia suggests that their shells measured nearly 1.72 meters.
Yeah, that's like, I want to say about as big as a modern-day leatherback-ish. Maybe even a bit smaller, honestly, because leatherbacks are pretty damn big turtles. I think that's a bit smaller, actually. But yeah, so much pliosaur footage, I really don't get it.
Their entire bodies were 3 meters long and weighed close to 450...
Dude, how many times are you going to use the same fucking clip of the dead pliosaur? The AI is just like, it sees 4 flippers, and it's just like, that's a fucking turtle right there.
53 kilograms. Mega piranha.
Oh, this guy again.
You know piranhas, those nasty, nightmarish creatures.
Yeah, they're freaking big now.
Small but deadly? Well, did you know there existed a humongous, hungrier ancient relative to the piranha?
Yeah, it was hungrier because it also ate lots of fruits. It was hungry.
Well, they weighed 20 to 30 pounds compared to the 2-pound piranhas we have today.
I'm assuming he's talking about the red belly piranha because there's multiple different types of piranha. The largest of which I'm pretty sure is the black piranha. Actually, maybe he is talking about the black piranha because red belly piranhas really are not that big. They're like, I want to say that big-ish. I don't know what that is in diameter because I don't have a protractor on hand. But yeah, I feel like they're about that big. They're really not particularly large animals. So I think a black piranha might get up to 2 pounds. Red belly, not really though.
They were native to South America between 10 and 6 million years ago. The mega piranha fed off the gigantic creatures such as snakes or crocodiles of its era.
It may have scavenged off of dead ones, but again, like, you're making this sound like the last fucking people we had talking about mega piranha, where they're going out into the oceans and chomping up megalodons and shit. No, these were scavengers. They would have been scavengers, like modern day piranhas. Please give me a fucking break.
For roost
Oh my god. Okay.
Creatures such as snakes or crocodiles of its era.
Let's hear it.
For Rhesusricidae.
For Rhesusricidae. It was bound to happen every single time. It is always the forest rockets. It is always mispronounced. And it's always mispronounced in, like, a new and fascinating way. There's a reason bingo exists. Hey, you know birds, right? Yeah, they were kind of freaking big back then.
Most birds that do not fly, like the ostrich or the penguin, are somewhat respectful and harmless to humans. However,
are you stupid? Ostriches are among the most dangerous of birds. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And are you going so far as to imply that the flighted ones are more dangerous? I would take my chances with so many flighted birds unless they're like a fucking big ass hawk or falcon or owl or something over an ostrich or a cassowary.
Cassowary.
Or a cassowary and an emu or anything like that. There was like this murder case, right? Where the defense lawyers came up with this crazy theory that maybe the husband didn't bludgeon his wife and like push her down the stairs, but instead she was attacked by an owl that flew inside the house and splattered blood everywhere. You don't know, it could have happened. Owls. They don't like you. And yeah, obviously there's like the war against emus in Australia, but like the thing with that was that like the Australians lost the war because emus are annoying to kill. They're like dead ringer spies. You shoot them and for some reason they just kind of wiggle around and they don't die and then they run off and go backstab some fucking moron and get all their health back.
However, for Rhesusricidae is also known as terror bird. Could not yet.
For Rhesusricidae is also known as terror bird. This entire clade is known as one singular terror bird. I love grammar so much.
Fly, yet were carnivorous birdies. They were one of the largest predators in South America during the Cenozoic period, some 62 million years ago.
Son of a bitch. They always fucking do the 62 million years ago line. Every time we cover forest rockets, we go through the same fucking shit. Every single time. Jesus Christ. It's always the same.
In addition, they could measure up to 3 meters in height and weigh up to 500 kilograms. Their diet consisted of mammals and marsupials that are now also extinct. Pick a struggle, birdie.
Pick a struggle? What the fuck are you talking about? What? Jesus Christ.
Helicoprion.
Sure.
This strange animal was also a bizarre creature and went extinct some 225 million years ago. Like modern-day sharks, Helicoprion had cartilaginous bones rather than calcified ones. So the only...
Is this guy drunk? I mean, the real answer is that he's just like an AI voiceover, but like, holy shit, dude, he is having so much trouble pronouncing anything. Like, I don't know why you'd be, like, making a video like this if you have no interest in science whatsoever and can't pronounce basic words. Fuck me, dude.
Traces it left in the fossil records were weird, whorl-like spirals of teeth that looked quite unlike anything sharks sport today. When Helicoprion bit down on prey, the
Helicoprion, you're missing an entire letter there.
whorled tooth would have stabbed backwards like an earth mover, slicing and dicing the meal towards its throat. Think of it as a food processor with a direct route to the animal's throat.
You mean teeth? You mean teeth? That's just what teeth do. They process the food and then move it back to the throat. You don't need a buzzsaw for a face to do that, you fucking dingus.
Dreadnoughtus.
Why?
This is the largest dinosaur.
It's just a big fucking...
New favorite shark found. Buzzsaw shark.
Technically, it's not a shark. It's more closely related to ratfish. But, like, yeah, Helicoprion is neat. It's just, like, this is the only list we ever see it on. I'm just like, boy, aren't you glad this is extinct? Also, Dreadnoughtus is another one of those, like, massive South American titanosaurs that's known from relatively incomplete material. Which is kind of just the case for titanosaurs and, honestly, a lot of sauropods in general. Because, I'm pretty sure the bigger you are, the harder it is for, like, your entire skeleton, basically, to end up in a position where it's like, okay, all of these bones can fossilize now. Dreadnoughtus is a good name. I do like the name. But, like, it's kind of one of those dime a dozen, giant-ass South American titanosaurs, which is very funny in Dominion, Jurassic World Dominion, when Alan Grant looks out the window of a helicopter and fucking 30 miles away sees a sauropod and says, "Oh, is that Dreadnoughtus?" Like he can fucking tell just by looking at it.
Dinosaur whose size can be calculated reliably. A very complete fossil of this sauropod was unearthed in 2009. Dreadnoughtus was known...
But let's find out. How complete are we talking here? Because I'm pretty sure it's not very... actually... Okay, for a South American titanosaur, that's actually really good. That's like a lot of the animal besides a lot of the neck and head. That's surprisingly good.
For rock deposits of southern Patagonia, Argentina, and date 77 million years ago. While alive, the Dreadnoughtus was 26 meters long and weighed 65.
Why are we using the Frontier Dreadnoughtus? Everyone's really worried about Jurassic World Evolution 3. Like, oh no, the Frontier models probably aren't going to make it in. Because, like, they're only using the canon models. I don't think people are going to miss the Frontier Dreadnoughtus. I really don't.
5 tons. Researchers observed the large Dreadnoughtus dinosaur fossil has a few tooth marks on its vertebrae, likely from a meat-eating scavenger that probably...
A meat-eating scavenger, like a hyena, apparently. The hyenas that are just running around in late Cretaceous Patagonia. Just why?
Sent it to extinction. Quetzalcoatlus.
Sure.
Quetzalcoatlus was the largest creature ever to fly the prehistoric skies.
We do I mean, okay, that is the biggest ever. We got that. We do this all the time with the Asdarchids. It doesn't matter which one's the biggest. Quetzalcoatlus, Hatzegopteryx, Arambrojana, they're all fucking enormous. You're splitting hairs at that point.
However, due to poor fossil records, we don't know exactly how big it was, but there is an estimate of it having a wingspan of 35 feet. Of course, when it comes...
That is reasonable. Quetzalcoatlus lawsoni is the smaller of the two species that are known, and it's known for more complete material. Quetzalcoatlus northropi is the larger of the two species, which has, like, the much higher size estimates. and it's known from much less complete material. But if you compare the material of Northropy and just kind of like scale it up from the material we have of Lawsoni, then you can get like a decent idea of how big Northropy ought to be. So that's how you get these kinds of estimates, even when you don't have a fully articulated skeleton of the species. The same goes for like basically any other prehistoric species. Like, you just look at a super close relative and you're like, all right, until, you know, further material is found, then we can use the closest living relative, or not the closest living relative, the closest relative that we know of that has more complete material, and use that as just kind of like as like a template, more or less.
Comes to weight, it's even harder to measure. Scientists estimated it weighed 450 to 550 pounds. It stood at 10 feet and lived in North America.
Stood at 10 feet? That's an underestimate. Quetzalcoatlus is rather famously and frequently portrayed as being like giraffe height when it's standing. Also, yeah, that is the weirdest American flag I've ever seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. 15 stars. There's only 15 states. That's almost as many states as there are colonies.
Around 60 million years ago. Imagine stuffing a bird the size of a giraffe for Thanksgiving. Fortunately, these creatures
Okay, giraffes are taller than 10 feet, so also imagine stuffing a bird the size of a giraffe for Thanksgiving. First of all, not a bird. It's a pterosaur. I'm gonna be a pedant and call that incorrect taxonomy, because fuck you. Also, another stellar AI joke. You gotta love them.
are extinct, so we move on. Edestus.
Sure.
One look at this creature is enough to tell you why it's part of this list. Although its exact form is still up for debate, we know it didn't shed teeth, but grew new teeth and gums at the back of its mouth. This pushed the older teeth and gums forward, creating some sort of curling in its jaw.
I actually don't know how Edestus's teeth work. I know that Edestus is kind of in the same sort of ballpark as Helicoprion. It's just kind of got like a different configuration of the teeth. Edestus is a weird one. It looks cool, though. I just don't know all that much about it.
It is said that the mouth looked like a monstrous pair of pickling shears. That would have left quite a mark on our heads. Anomalocaria.
I am not even remotely glad this thing is extinct. I want it to be alive. Bring me back my Radiodont boys.
Yes. The name literally means abnormal shrimp, and that's exactly what the Anomalocaris is. Scientific...
I mean, no, it's not. It's really not. It superficially resembles a shrimp. But it's part of a group of arthropods known as radiodonts, which were their own thing. But they do superficially resemble shrimp.
Research tells us this creature was a predator that preferred feeding on hard-bodied sea creatures. The Anomalocaris was known for its weird eyes that were equipped with 30,000 lenses. They are believed to
yeah, compound eyes. Kind of a big deal to be evolving eyes in general in the Cambrian. Because, like, a lot of stuff that's fucking around there is shit like jellyfish and sea sponges. Just like the beginnings of life in general. And now you got like this super complex creature that's like moving around and hunting stuff and like tracking stuff with its eyes. Even like if by, you know, the standards of saying like our eyes, they're not all that complex. The fact that it has them at all, that it can like sense things like movement and stuff, that's huge for the Cambrian. There's a reason that Anomalocaris is a very, very special animal and is like often touted as the world's first super predator.
Be the most advanced eyes of any species of its time. That's both amazing and intimidating, especially if you are bespectacled.
If you're bespectacled? What? Whatever.
Meganeura.
Big dragonfly.
Meganeuras were huge dragonfly-like insects with wings that reached up to 66 centimeters. That's twice the length of an A4 pad. They were definitely one of the largest flying predatory insects in the world.
I'm pretty sure they were absolutely the largest. The largest that we know of, I'm pretty sure. Any examples of prehistoric parasites being preserved? Yes, there are dinosaur fleas, if I'm not mistaken, that we do have direct fossil evidence of. Those are the only ones that I know of, aside from just, like, blood-sucking insects like mosquitoes and stuff. Apparently we have fossil tapeworms. So there you go.
The ultimate fact is they lived during the Carboniferous period.
What do you mean the ultimate fact? What did you mean? The ultimate fact? Hey guys, it's time for ultimate facts! The ultimate fact about the Meganeura is it lived during the Carboniferous period. What's so ultimate about that?
Some 300 million years ago. Their diet consisted mainly of other insects.
Oh, it's because the channel's called Ultimate Fact. Oh! Oh, the ultimate fact. Oh! Ow. I poked my own eye.
Insects and small amphibians. Their eyes of the Meganeura were relatively large compared to body size. These mega insects had spines on the tibia and tarsi, which functioned as flying trap.
Okay, I have no idea what he was even saying there. Function as flying trap. What did you mean by this? I'm assuming that he's talking about, like, the kind of spines that modern-day dragonflies have on their arms that they use to, like, hunt their prey with. I'm assuming that's what he means, but, like, he said that so weirdly because he's only got, like, 30 seconds to talk about each of these fucking animals. I can only assume that's what he meant by that. Because I think the tibia, that's got to be, like the arm area, right? And then the tarsi, that's got to be, like, where the tarsal claws are, which on insects, those are, like, kind of the claws that they have to, like, grab and hold on to things. Joseph Artigas. It's a fucking big chungus again.
Joseph Artigas. Joseph Artigas monesi, an ancient extinct species of the South American cavimorph rodent, is the largest known of its kind. The big rat lived from 2 to 4 million years ago during the Pliocene to early Pleistocene age. These massive rodents resembled gigantic capybaras. They were the size of cows with an estimated weight of 1 ton. Can you imagine a bunch of killer rats roaming around?
I think 1 ton is that's got to be an overestimate, hasn't it? I'm calling that an overestimate. I don't think that's correct at all. Also, yeah, did he just say killer?
With an estimated weight of 1 ton. Can you imagine a bunch of killer rats roaming around 10 feet long with another 5 feet of tail? They might have been.
They're not killers. They're big fucking capybaras. We have regular capybaras today. They don't kill people. God.
Herbivorous, but their foot-long incisors would have packed such a strong bite you would want to flee anyway. Is that Joe or Joseph Artigas monesi in your backyard?
Oof. God. These jokes make you want to fucking die. Oh, it did weigh up to 1,000 pounds? Oh, wait, 1,000 pounds. Well, that's half a ton. So, yeah, that's still a size overestimate. You're saying it's double in weight, what it actually is. Yeah, P.U. I feel bad for, like, saying that the guy who's made the there is no saurus joke. Like, oh, man, that was a clunker. Like, fuck, dude, he's trying way harder than this guy.
Arthropods.
Big bug.
This wild animal was the largest species of invertebrate of its time. It lived 300.
Oh, boy, okay. Largest species of invertebrate. No! You are equating invertebrates with arthropods. An invertebrate is something that doesn't have a backbone. An arthropod is one of the hard shelly boys. That would be something like insects and arachnids and myriapods such as arthropleura. An invertebrate could be something like a squid, which is to say something like a giant squid, or maybe a big orthocone, or maybe a big, I mean, Eurypterid is also an arthropod, but, like, still, that does count. I feel like we're going to get, even though it was huge/dangerous, it was an herbivore.
40 to 280 million years ago, from the lower Carboniferous period to the lower Permian period, in today's North America. Despite its
also Europe.
massive 2-meter frame, the Arthropleura was not a carnivorous predator.
Called it.
But herbivore. I'm talking about a worm. Indeed, a
Okay, we've already got incorrect taxonomy crossed off. Jesus Christ. No, it is not a worm. It is a myriapod, which is to say the the clade that includes centipedes and, more relevantly, because these are herbivorous animals, millipedes. This is so frustrating. Repeated itself with big rat. Yeah, I think it was like mentioning the size of the rat over and over again. So yeah, that's a bingo.
A potential subject for a thriller Reddit story. Fossilized footprints from Arthropods have been found in many places. They appear as long, parallel rows of small prints, which show that it moved quickly across the forest floor, swerving to avoid obstacles such as trees and rocks.
As this one is climbing down a tree.
Megalania. These are the distinct relatives of the Komodo dragons. They weighed more.
I mean, I don't know if you were trying to say distant there, but you said distinct, which is fucking not grammatically correct. Megalania is in the same genus as the Komodo dragon, and all other monitor lizards for that matter, including the tiny little Aki monitor, which every time we get Megalania on one of these lists, I'm going to bring out the Aki as soon as I get it.
More than 1,300 pounds and grew 18 feet long. They disappeared around 50,000 years ago. The Megalania fed mostly on medium to large-sized animals, including giant marsupials, fellow reptiles, small mammals, as well as birds, their eggs, and chicks. Meat.
So meat. It ate meat. It ate whatever the fuck it could get its giant fucking mouth on.
Mean. Very mean. Hallucigenia.
Rumbling, rumbling, it's coming, rumbling, rumbling, beware, coming for you.
This species looks like it's straight out of a nightmare, doesn't it? It's an extremely bizarre creature with...
It's also this fucking big.
The head that didn't even include a nose.
Okay, that was a wonderful little metal statue of a hallucigenia, though. I would buy that. I would absolutely buy that.
Nose, eyes, or ears. Instead, it had 7 pierced-tipped tentacles on each side of its strange body, and then 3 pairs of tentacles behind those. After 50 years, scientists discovered a fossil head of the insane hallucigenia worm.
What do you mean after 50 years? What? Like 50 years after the first was discovered? What?
Good luck catching sleep tonight with this creature on your mind. Gigantopithecus.
Ah, Christopher Walken. Now, calling it a worm is... we mentioned this last time when we covered bass fishing productions, that the closest living relative of hallucigenia is actually the velvet worm, which isn't really a kind of worm. It's sort of its own thing. I think someone in the comments mentioned that they're lobopods, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong about that. Oh yeah, he's going to mention Bigfoot, 100%. He's going to mention Bigfoot, and there is going to be a clip of Christopher Walken, King Louie. It's both of those things are going to happen. Lopobodians. There we go. Also, I got like 2 comments almost in a row that were basically calling me a misogynist for making fun of bass fishing productions because his girlfriend has an OnlyFans page. Listen, she can get the bag as much as she wants. I don't really care about that. I will, however, make fun of him because people are masturbating to his girlfriend for money. I don't know if that makes me a misogynist or not, but like... Oh well, apparently.
Moving a little closer to home, the Gigantopithecus were huge and powerful apes that roamed across Asia as recently as 100,000
Called it.
Years ago. They were the largest known apes ever to have lived and stood up to 9.8 feet tall. They weighed up to 540 kilograms and were roughly 7 times as heavy as the modern orangutan. Fortunately, unless you were a piece of fruit or bamboo, you would have been safe with these massive apes. Although
Again, we're repeating ourselves a lot here, like, hey, despite being huge, it was an herbivore, it was the biggest ever, yada yada yada.
Though they were strictly vegan, seeing one emerge from the bushes must have been quite a fright for our great-grandfolks. Give a thumbs up to this big boy in the comments section. Leviathan melvillier. It is related to...
Oof. Yeesh, that was a bad pronunciation. So, Leviathan melvili, it's kind of a butchering of the word Leviathan because the word Leviathan was already attributed to another genus, and so they just kind of had to like corrupt it a bit. I forget what the terminology for that is linguistically speaking. Um, but like you just kind of shift a couple of the letters around and bing bang boom, you got a valid genus name. And then of course Melville is after Herman Melville, who is the author of Moby Dick, which is all about a big sperm whale and this giant prehistoric macroraptorial sperm whale. So there you go.
To modern-day sperm whales, like the legendary Moby Dick, and lived during the Miocene epoch period. It was
Also, Moby Dick is indeed based on a real, actual sperm whale. A white sperm whale even, named Mocha Dick, who I believe was living out in the Pacific, if I'm not mistaken. And it was an enormous fucking whale. And it was an absolute monster. That was like, I want to say, like 77 feet long when he was finally killed. Just an absolute titan of a whale. Like, absolute psychopath. I'm pretty sure he was, like, super notorious for being, like, really aggressive towards boats. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
was 44 to 57 feet long and had a 10-foot long skull that housed 40 14.5-inch long teeth.
Aww.
These were the longest teeth used for feeding known from any animal. It fed on large prey at the surface of the water, including other whales. This whale likely became
Other whales like the megalodon.
so large because it was only competing directly with the megalodon at the table.
Megalodon. All we need is outlandish thumbnail bait for another one across. We just had to get mentioned. Thank God.
Jacalopterus.
Okay, at the very least, it's a specific genus of Eurypterid. I'll take that one.
These 8-foot-long arthropods lived in the water and had a pincher claws. Frankly, all of these
They had a pincher claws. Good. Also, I'm pretty sure Jacalopterus is longer than 8 feet, but whatever, man.
Eurypterids are scary as hell, and this entire post could be exclusively about how terrifying these things look. Many of them look eerily similar to the face huggers from Alien.
Not really. They have legs and a tail. The big kind of circular head is, and the fact that the tail is kind of short and ends with like a little paddle-like structure, they don't really look similar at all. Not really. Yeah.
They are fuel for a nightmare. Jacalopterus has...
Okay. I'm gonna, like... I may end up losing the respect of some of you, but I ended up going on ChatGPT, right? And I was like, hey, write me a script for, like, the top 6 animals that, like, you're glad are extinct. Because I wanted to see exactly... like, how much of this is just, like, reused from Forrest Galante's video.
Cruciform creatures, my beloved.
I do love them. But I just wanted to see, right? I wanted to see, just how much of this terminology was used over and over and over again. And it's so fucking frequent. And the nightmare fuel thing, the AI loves nightmare fuel. I can't even explain it. It loves nightmare fuel as, like, a descriptor. Like, anytime we hear nightmare fuel in one of these videos, I think that's really worth keeping into consideration. Like, yeah, I'm doing my own research on this because I have to know. Like, I don't even know how many of these are written by ChatGPT. Like, Forrest Galante's video was super fucking obviously ChatGPT, especially when you, like, do a fucking, like a cross-analysis, like an Ace Attorney cross-analysis of just, like, one instance of ChatGPT spitting this garbage out versus his instance, right? Oh, most AI gets its data from Reddit? That makes so much fucking sense, actually. That makes way too much sense. Like, I was almost thinking that earlier, like... because you know who fucking loves saying nightmare fuel? Redditors. Redditors love that shit. And you know what? I bet it's getting a lot of its data from Reddit because of, like, people who ask these super specific questions in, like, all these different, like, niche situations, and they have to go to Reddit because there's, like, a community dedicated to that sort of thing. That actually makes a lot of sense. Like, that is what a lot of people will end up going to Reddit for, or like when they Google a specific problem they'll have, like they'll end up going to Reddit as opposed to like trusting whatever the top Google result is or anything like that. Fascinating.
Has segmented bodies with multiple specialized limbs, some with spikes. They had spring-loaded claws to snatch up fish as they passed by, with the largest Jacalopterus having an 18-inch spiked claw. Sarcosuchus.
You're gonna make another joke about this one being a sucker? Also, do I know this video? Is this the one where he gets bit? Or is it another one? Because, like, I swear I saw his hand touch the tongue there.
Modern-day crocs are scary. Crocodiles of the prehistoric era were absolutely terrifying. This
not a true crocodile, by the way, a crocodile relative.
Specific creature had 132 conical teeth that had been compared to railroad spikes. Unlike many carnivores,
I love, by the way, whenever the fucking video editing is just like, it puts a little caption for the most innocuous thing, like railroad spikes, just in case you don't know what those are.
Carnivores who have narrow teeth that are made for slashing. Sarcosuchus teeth were designed to grip its prey, while the Sarcosuchus...
Yeah, that probably indicates that it was mostly eating things like big-ass fish, which, like, makes sense, because, superficially, the head of Sarcosuchus resembles that of modern-day gharials a lot more than it resembles that of, like, other crocodilians, like alligators and stuff like that, or even just crocodiles themselves. Like, it's very long. It's a long boy.
Sarcosuchus wasn't flexible. It was covered with a bony armor that helped protect it from enemies.
Well, yeah, all crocodilians are, more or less. Except for, like, well, okay, I shouldn't say that, Sarcosuchus is a crocodilian, because it's not. But, like, most crocodilomorphs are covered in, osteoderms that basically act like armor. Some minor exceptions exist, like Metriorhynchus, which was a fully marine crocodiliform from the Jurassic period. Like, that didn't have any armor because it was, like, going for full-on speedy boy in the water specialization.
It was, on minimum, 40 feet long and lived nearly 110 million years ago. Pedicopterus.
Okay, so just another...
This extinct creature...
We have another Eurypterid, like 2 entries after the last one. We also have Sarcosuchus not very long after Deinosuchus. I really feel like you could have cut this list in half and just been totally fine. You wouldn't have missed out on much, trust me.
Creature was a huge sea scorpion that's...
Also, yeah, on minimum 40 feet makes it sound like they came out of the egg 40 feet long, which is, fanciful. That's a fun idea.
Scuttled through the water in search of food. Pedicopterus had a very long...
Saying it's scuttled through the water doesn't exactly strike terror into my heart. I'm not gonna lie about that. That makes it sound kind of cute, like a big shrimp or something.
Long head that was shielded by an exoskeleton. To capture its prey, the large scorpion had multiple giant pincers that allowed it to reach out and snag whatever it craved. If you can imagine a giant crawdad, that's kind of what the creature looked like. Its length was a minimum of 6 feet.
Okay, I don't know why, but I thought when he was, like, talking about the big pinchers grabbing prey, and then he went to imagine, I thought it was gonna be like that meme of, like, Americans imagining anything. So imagine a burger. Imagine using a giant pair of garden shears in order to grab a burger in front of you. That is how the Pentacopterus do.
Feet, and it lived 467 million years ago. Irish elk. Okay, no laughing. The Irish elk became extinct when their
Wait. Hold on. You said no laughing. I don't know if the, like... At first I thought that meant, oh, because it's a big deer. What the fuck are you going to say about this thing's antlers?
Antlers became so large that the animals could no longer hold their heads up.
Okay. Oh my god. That is utterly bananas. I can't even... Okay. I may have to go into some shit here, right? About just like basic evolution. So how evolution works, right, is that animals reproduce and then they pass down their genes into the next generation. And also, every single organism has unique mutations that, like, on top of the genes that are passed down, give them, like, certain traits, right? Sometimes those mutations are totally benign, sometimes those mutations are harmful, and sometimes those mutations are beneficial. The benign ones, that's kind of like that could go either way. The harmful ones, generally speaking, don't get passed down because they're often so detrimental to the survival of the animal that the animal doesn't get a chance to pass down the genes that led to that mutation in the first place. So if the Irish elk couldn't even hold its fucking head up, I ask of you, how is it holding its head up? If you catch my drift. How's it fucking? How's it gonna fuck if it can't even hold its head up? How's it gonna fuck? Because that gene, like that trait, would need to be passed down through the entire species in order to drive the species to extinction. That is phenomenally stupid. Yeah, the only way that makes any sense is if Earth suddenly had an increase in its gravitational strength. And now all of a sudden, oh, my head is too heavy. Timber! I'm blown the fuck away. That's one of the stupidest things we have ever heard in any of these videos. Jesus fucking Christ.
Some Irish elk would also get entangled in the trees and starve. A more modern...
Yeah, modern deer do that too. Have you seen all the kind of shit that modern deer get tangled up in? How come deer aren't extinct?
An explanation of the function of the suicidal antlers is that they were used...
Listen, they were a sexual display stroke that were used in combat with other males for mating rights.
For displays of prowess, as they are in the present-day deer. The most recent remains of the species have been carbon dated 7,700 years ago in western Russia. The Irish elk went from young to stupid to extinct.
Dude! This guy is like my fucking friend from Iowa who just has an absolute hatred of deer of all kinds. Because they fucking haze him by sprinting out in the middle of the fucking road in front of his car in the middle of the night. Like, holy shit, this guy hates the Irish elk.
Troodon, that lived in North America during the late Cretaceous period, 74 to 65 million years.
Late Cretaceous period, man. The late Crustaceous period. Fuck me, dude.
Ago. It was one of the dinosaurs that died out in the Cretaceous-Tertiary extinction.
Don't you get it, you Cretaceous cheapskate? I can't make a double Krabby Patty with the works.
A small but highly intelligent carnivore, and among the first dinosaurs discovered in North America, Troodon possessed a deadly venomous bite, which...
Oh my god. It's... Okay. So Troodon was originally venomous in Jurassic Park the Game by Telltale Games. It had a venomous bite, and it was basically a parasitic brooder, more or less. It's venom like paralyzed you, and then it would lay its eggs inside of your chest cavity. And then when the Jurassic World Evolution games came out and added Troodon in, I believe it was the Secrets of Dr. Wu DLC, they gave it a venomous bite as a sort of nod to the Telltale games. And now, in this fucking video, we apparently have, yes, Troodon was just a venomous dinosaur. Now, Troodon does have very unique teeth for a theropod. That's like why they're named the way they are. The name is Wounding Tooth. because the teeth looked like they'd fucking hurt, and also when it was discovered, it was like literally only known from a tooth. And so like some debate has gone on about like why the teeth were exactly like that, like what they were used for. Some believe that maybe it could have been that Troodon and Troodontids were omnivorous, that they were also using these to like eat plant matter. I think the idea that they may have been venomous was like floated around a little bit, but it is a bit fanciful. But hey, that's the kind of thing that makes it fun to adapt in a Jurassic Park IP thing.
It used to subdue its prey. I'm really glad for time. It makes some freaks extinct.
I'm really glad for time. It makes some freaks extinct. Fucking hell, dude. You sounded like you were having a stroke while you were saying that.
Therizinosaurus.
There is no saurus.
This is a genus of very large Therizinosaurid that lived in Asia during the late Cretaceous period.
Fucking late Cretaceous period, dude.
That is what is now known as the Nutmeg Formation.
The nutmeg? What are you saying, fucking nutmeg? The Nutmeg Formation? You fuck?
First remains of Therizinosaurus were found in 1948 by a Mongolian field expedition at the Gobi Desert. When tamed, its primary use was to tickle enemies.
What? Hold on. Say that again.
Expedition at the Gobi Desert. When tamed, its primary use was to tickle enemies. Tickling enemies immobilized them for 20 seconds due to hysterical laughter, then they were killed. That was 70 million years ago.
What the fuck? Is that an arc? Does it do that in arc? That's not an arc feature? What the fuck? Where did you get that from? Coochie coochie goo.
Till. Therizinosaurs equipped the holiday punch.
Apparently. That's our new thumbnail bait, by the way.
Today's predators have lost their sense of humor and go straight for the jugular. We've survived giant and dangerous...
That wasn't even a predator. I hate you so much. I hate you more than words can describe.
Rats, worms, fish, and apes. Let's see what the top 5 are packing. Smilodon.
Smilodon.
Native to the North and South America, the Smilodon...
The North and South America. God.
Ironically, had nothing to do with smiles, except that it always showed teeth.
It had nothing to do with smiles, except that it always showed teeth. I hate you. I hate you. Move on.
This is the best-known ancestor of a saber-toothed tiger, a strong predator with...
Wait. What the fuck are you saying? Are you fucking stupid?
America, the Smilodon, ironically, had nothing to do with smiles, except that it always showed teeth. This is the best-known ancestor of a saber-toothed tiger, a strong predator...
The best-known ancestor? It fucking is one! If you actually want to call it a saber-toothed tiger, which is like... I always say saber-toothed cat because it's more accurate, but like... When people talk about saber-toothed tiger, they're generally talking about a Smilodon. That's not the ancestor to it, that's just what it is. The Homo sapien is the common ancestor of the human being. That's what you're saying. You're stupid.
Predator with well-developed, long and sharp canines. Some of the largest species could weigh up to 900 pounds, and that's not something you could fit on a selfie. Megalodon. The megalodon is a massive prehistoric ocean animal that lived between 2 and 1.5 million years ago during the early Miocene into the Pleistocene era. Its name means big tooth, and you can imagine why. Thanks to its incredible size of up to 18 meters, it is considered one of the largest and most powerful predators that ever existed on Earth. It could weigh up to 65 metric tons, look like a giant, more terrifying version of the modern great white shark, and could be found worldwide.
Okay. So, a lot of older depictions of Megalodon do generally kind of have it as like an oversized great white shark. As we've discovered more about Megalodon and its taxonomy, It's very unlikely that that's the case. I don't know what it was more like, but it wasn't like toy like a great white shark. It was a lot more elongated, as far as I'm aware. It was a long boy, as opposed to great whites, which are kind of chunky. And Megalodon only lived for 500,000 years. Yeah, that's not right at all. Megalodon lived for a while, as far as I'm aware. Maybe that's just because Otodus, the genus, lived for a very, very long time. Fuck me, dude.
Ichthyotitan on this list or I riot.
3 years ago. I don't know if it was discovered yet.
Thule monstrum.
This is above Megalodon. The Telemonstrum, the Snippety Snab, is above Megalodon. The Machina weaponry skin.
Colloquially known as the Thule monster, this extinct animal...
You can't even say Tully! Come on, man. You can't pronounce anything.
...is genus of soft-bodied bilateral. They lived in...
Genus of soft-bodied bilateral. Okay, so... I've been going through a lot of the dulls lately. And there's one dull in particular called Metazoa, where it's a daily game that's basically just like, you try and guess an animal based on its taxonomy, right? If you get into bilateria, you're basically fucked. Like, your guess is as good as worthless. Bilateria is any animal that if you split it down the middle, both halves are, like, the same, like they're mirrored, right? Something like a sea sponge is not bilateral because they're kind of amorphous and weird looking. Something like a fish is bilateral because you slice a fish in half, you got two even sides. An earthworm is bilateral. A human is bilateral. Therefore, you're saying that this thing could be in the same group as an earthworm or a human. Doesn't mean much. Unfortunately, that's about all we have of Telemonstrum, because it's really fucking weird, and we don't entirely know what it is, whether or not it's even a vertebrate. But the AI doesn't understand the nuance behind that. It's like, oh, Wikipedia, or wherever I'm getting the fucking information off of, says that this is in Bilateria, therefore, I'm just gonna fucking go nuts and say that, like, yeah, this is a member of Bilateria, or whatever shit I just said.
Shallow tropical coastal waters of muddy estuaries during the Pennsylvanian geological period, about 300 million years ago. Only a single species, T. gregarium, is known. The Thule monster was originally discovered in the 1950s by a fossil collector named Francis Thule. Ever since its discovery, scientists have puzzled over which group of modern animals Thule belongs to. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Well, this last one will get you freaking at some of the toys you see around.
What? Freaking at some of the toys you see around? Okay, first of all, I haven't seen Tully Monster toys, because if I did, I would buy them. I want to kill myself.
Titanoboa.
Sure.
But first, do us a favor.
Why is there a Cyclops? Why is there a fucking Cyclops? Do you see that? Am I crazy? Also, there's a Cyclops. There's also a little girl getting kidnapped here. Also, there's the devil. I don't know if I want to watch this channel. I don't. That's an organ. What the fuck?
Click that like button to inspire us. Subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell and you won't miss
Ooh, I can't start a business with no money though. Alright, maybe I do want to stick around here.
any interesting videos. Done then? Let's go. Currently, the largest snake on Earth is the green anaconda, with a length of 6 to 9 meters and 180 to
69 meters? No, 629 meters.
150 kilograms in weight. However, 58 million years ago, during the Paleocene age, the now extinct Titanoboa roamed the Earth. It was the largest and heaviest snake of its time. Researchers estimate that the Titanoboa could measure up to 12 meters in length and weigh approximately 1.1 metric tons. Their diet generally consisted of crocodiles and turtles. Bon appetit, Titanic boa.
Also probably fish. I'm actually not really sure about eating turtles. I think turtles are kind of a non-starter for a lot of snakes, if I had to guess. Unless they're like really, really small turtles that can easily fit down the digestive tract. Just because, like, the shell's got to be a massive pain in the ass. Turtles are a lot better prey for crocodilians, like alligators and stuff like that.
Andrewsarchus.
Please say that this is, like, the biggest fucking predator that ever lived ever.
These scary animals lived during the Eocene epoch age, 45 to 36 million years ago.
At least he could pronounce Eocene.
They were giant carnivorous mammals at 1.8 meters in height and 3.6 meters in length. They had a complete set of placental dental formula that comprised 3 incisors.
Placental dental formula. It's so obvious when they're just reading shit off of some website like Wikipedia. Like, the AI just, like, skimmed through Wikipedia for a bunch of shit. Like, picked out a certain phrase, was just like, boom. Placental dental formula. It had teeth. It had teeth. It had a big set of chompers. It was hungry.
1 canine, 4 premolars, and 3 molars in each side of its jaws, meaning they were edentlodonts.
Edentlodonts? Okay, so where Andrewsarchus places exactly is kind of contentious, but that's, like, the thing, is it's contentious, and you can't really definitively say that it's an entelodont. A lot of Cladistics places it kind of in the same ballpark as entelodonts. Like, they're relatively closely related, but, like, they're not entelodonts themselves, as far as I'm aware. But it's kind of difficult to say that when all we have of it is, like, the top of a skull.
According to paleontologists, the animal could have weighed up to 1.8 metric tons, making them the largest predators among the mammals on land. Which ones freaked you the most? What will you do if they came back? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Like always,
thank fucking God that's over. Holy shit. That is, like, one of the most textbook examples of video gets worse as it goes on because the AI just gets more and more confused. I was like, oh man, like a 16-minute video, that won't take very long at all. Motherfucker, that took us an hour and 20 minutes to get through, more or less. Yeah, we're also gonna do the terrifying dinosaurs. I want to do a round of Metazoo though. Let's see the comments. Predators today? Yeah, kind of freaking scary. Predators of the prehistoric era? Nuh-uh, bro. Freaking terrifying. Nice information you have given. Giant ellipses. Awesome knowledge you have of animals. Giant ellipses. Keep it going. Giant ellipses. Do you understand why I have a vendetta against the ellipses? What do you gain from typing like this? I think scientists are trying to bring these back. Yeah, scientists are out there trying to bring back the Tully monster. They're like, listen, the fucking Colossal, if you bring back a Tully monster, I take back everything I said about the dire wolves. This is view-botted. It's gotta be. These comments aren't people. 3.2 million views, 277 comments, and, like, so many of these have to be botted. This isn't real. We gotta guess an animal, but it has to be on the list. I usually guess orca as my first guess, because, like, that's just my favorite. We'll do great white shark. Just what we were talking about. Bilateria. Not helpful. But I know that it's not even remotely closely related to a great white shark. Spider. Okay, let's go tarantula. Okay, it is an arthropod. Good. Now, is it a sea bug or a land bug? Probably a sea bug. Let's go shrimp. Because I see shrimp there. Fuck it, mantis shrimp. Okay, pancrustacea. Yeah, let's go like some kind of insect. Let's go praying mantis. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's some kind of insect. Not an earwig, because I see an earwig there. Nope. It's in this group, though. Grasshopper. Grasshoppers, locusts, and crickets. Alright, let's go cricket. Show me potato salad! And yeah, that's Metazoo. That's one of the dulls. We've been doing... me and my friends have been doing a lot of dulls lately. Because, like... one of my friends just happened to pick Crosstune, which is like a sort of crossword puzzle where you hear music. Here, we can do a round of Crosstune, and hopefully my stream won't get copyright claimed. Ah, shit, this is all Zoomer stuff that I don't know, is it? Song title, also a Marvel villain. Is that Sandman? Often heard at weddings. Holy shit. Okay, that's the Cupid Shuffle. Why was that so fucking loud? Holy shit. Like, I gotta get through this really, really quickly. But, like, the first couple of notes. So that way my stream doesn't get copyright claimed. Don't know it. First word of this artist's name. That is... Florence and the Machines. What is Little Tekka turning you into? I don't know who Little Tekka is. Don't know. That is Viva La Vida. Finish the lyric. We built this. Built a city on rock and roll. 26th most popular city. Yeah, copyright roulette. That's all we're playing right now. I probably should know this song. I think this is Kiss. Fuck, I don't know this one, though. I haven't listened to enough Kiss. Well, that's all I got. Detroit Rock City. I wouldn't have guessed that. Bob. But yeah, the reason that me and my friends have been on this game a lot lately is because, like, one of my friends, like, happened to play this on a day where it's, like, every single song, like, all of us knew. And he was clueless. He had never heard, like, any of these songs before. One of them, like, the first one he decided to like, try out was the fucking Chain by Fleetwood Mac, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I was just fuming because he just didn't know it. And it was the first, like, when I saw the clue and it's just the blank, that was the first thing I guessed before I even heard a note of the song. And then when I did hear a note of the song, it's just like, oh, easy, it's the Chain. He's so clueless on so many just, like, iconic songs. American Pie? Never heard it before, apparently. So many songs he's just never fucking heard before. Like, there's plenty of songs on CrossTune that I just don't fucking know anything about. Sometimes there's, like, especially the, like, modern hip-hop stuff, pretty much any modern stuff. I don't listen to modern music. But, like, you saw that I knew, like, the basics, right? Florence and the Machine, Coldplay. I know more Coldplay than I ought to. Metallica, obviously. Give me a break, I know Metallica. I do like the music dulls, even though I'm, generally speaking, pretty bad at them. What's the band dull of the day? Is it a song I might actually know? 1981, I might know this one. Oh, Easy Part 2. We'll see. I almost thought that was Blur for a second there. That's like the same sort of BPM as, like, what is it, Song 2 by Blur? You know, the woohoo! That song. Part 2, the bass line should give it away. Oh, I know this one. Ah, I hear the fucking melody in my head. I can't hear the lyrics. Fuck, I know this one. Is it Jesse's Girl? No, I don't... No, it is Jesse's Girl, you're right. Why can't I find a woman like that? Okay. Yeah, it's Jesse's Girl, you're right. Oh, you're so right. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I was thinking something completely different there. I should have just listened for a bit longer. I probably would have gotten it. Anyway, back to Sludge.